We are here with you now, Zach, and we are here to share with you a new transmission on a new topic. And this topic today that we would like to dive deeply into is concerning the reality of misinterpretation, what it means to misinterpret reality. Many of you today on the earth plane are still existing within your primary consciousness that is of the ego. The ego is dictating or ruling the way in which you interact with life for the most part. And this time of the ascension or great awakening phase that humanity is participating in collectively is one in which humanity will be continuously letting go or releasing their identification with their human conditioned mind, their ego consciousness. Reality, for the most part, for humanity, up until this point, has been largely misunderstood. Most people are not interacting with reality in the first place. They are misinterpreting what they experience, what they see, what they feel, what they hear. And this is a consequence of the ego mind dominating their consciousness. The ego mind is not capable of recognizing reality in its pure essence. It projects its own conditioned beliefs, its own emotions, its own traumas upon the essence of reality, and therefore creates an entirely new experience to be had by you, the soul, in this physical plane. And much of what you experience on a regular basis is not actually what you would desire to experience. Much of what you experience is more of the past experiences, past patterns, emotional, mental, behavioral patterns that have existed for as long as you can remember. And much of what you experience, in truth, is something you would rather let go of. You would much rather create from pure joy, pure consciousness, pure potentiality, as opposed to experiencing a record of what you have always experienced. The reason for this automated creation that you find yourselves experiencing day in, day out is simply because you are allowing the ego to dominate your awareness, and therefore you're not allowing yourselves to create anything new. And so this transmission today is for you, the viewer, to gain a greater understanding on what it means to interpret or perceive reality from the lens or perspective of your spirit so that you can interact with reality as the spirit would, and therefore create a new reality of your choosing. This is the end goal of today's transmission, and it is necessary for you to first understand how you are creating your reality in the first place. As we've said, because of the fact that you allow your ego to, for the most part, dominate your consciousness, you are giving your attention on a moment-to-moment basis to what you have created previously. And you do this by giving your attention to the same kinds of thoughts and feelings. You are creating what you are experiencing now because you are thinking and feeling in the same ways you always have. And if you keep giving your attention to the same thoughts and the same feelings, then you will create physical experiences that match those thoughts and feelings, and you will not allow yourself to create anything new. So you must ask yourself, is what I am experiencing and what I have been experiencing what I desire to experience more of? If it is not, and you would like to create a brand new experience of your choice, of your choosing, of your free will, then you must decide to interact with reality in a new way. As the experiences or outcome results that you create are the natural and automatic consequence of where you are choosing to place your conscious awareness. If you can master, and you can, otherwise we would not give this to you as a teaching, the choice to give your awareness to new thoughts and new feelings, that is to say, a new state of being, then you do not have to worry about the outer results that you create, as they will be the natural and automatic consequence of where you are placing your attention. The reason we can say this is because you are already creating the automatic consequence of what you call your life experience. Your life experience up until this point has been the automatic consequence of what you have given your attention to, both in thought, in your mind, and in your feeling. The two of these put together create what we call an electromagnetic signature. The electro being the mental, what you are giving your mental attention to, the thought forms playing on a loop in your mind, and the magnetic being the feeling state. What are you feeling? What is the primary emotion you're feeling about this present moment here and now? How are you feeling with the here and now? This combination of electromagnetic thought and feeling felt together simultaneously is then creating the way that you interact with the present moment. And so, put simply, the life experience that you create is the consequence of the electromagnetic signature that you are using to interact with this present moment. That is the relationship that you are creating with the here and now. That relationship that is made up of thought and feeling, your electromagnetic signature, is then producing the life experience that you create. And this is all created through your interpretation of reality. So, are you interpreting reality through the ego? Well, how will you know? You'll know by the electromagnetic signature that you have in your energy field, in your mind and in your body. You will notice, what is the way in which I am thinking about this moment? What is the way in which I am feeling about this moment? That will indicate to you very clearly the quality of the electromagnetic signature that you are choosing to create by giving your attention to it. And that will then manifest in the 3D physical form that you call a life event, a relationship, a business, a interaction with someone, any type of manifestation that you can point to will be the end result of the consistent electromagnetic signature that you are creating in your field. So this misinterpretation, or this way of interpreting your present moment, is what is creating your outcome. When you are giving a thought judgment, when you are thinking in a way about your present moment that is of judgment, and you are feeling the emotions that are of judgment, then that can be known as, or thought of as, your way of interpreting the moment. If you are interacting with this moment in a way that is of judgment, then you are choosing to interpret the meaning or significance of this moment in a judgmental way. And that will be your interpretation. And by virtue of your judgmental interpretation, will you then interact with the moment and create a life experience that matches the electromagnetic signal and the interpretation of that vibration of judgment. So this is why we feel it is incredibly important to master your interpretation. And instead of choosing to interpret the present moment through the lens of your ego, choose instead to become aware of how the spirit chooses to interpret the present moment. The spirit chooses to interpret the present moment in a way that causes it to realize reality. Reality isn't something that you project. That is what the ego does. The ego projects its interpretation upon reality by referencing memory. The past emotions that have not been resolved, the thought patterns and beliefs that have not been resolved become used to then project upon the present moment and then cover up the true essence of reality that the spirit would otherwise choose to become aware of. And then in that projection, the ego then says, this is the meaning or significance of the present. And then it creates a distorted life experience from that projection. The spirit, rather, would choose instead to recognize that reality is something that exists outside of its own expectations or projections. Therefore, it doesn't choose to control what it sees and have reality somehow contort itself to meet its prideful or egotistical expectations. The Spirit says, show me what reality is. It therefore chooses to let go of its preconceived notions. It chooses to surrender. It does not have the interest or the idea to say, I already know what reality is and what this moment is, by referencing the memory of the ego, of the human mind. The Spirit says, show me what this moment is, by choosing to surrender its attachment to egoic thought forms or memories or emotions or belief systems. It chooses to let go of saying, I already know what this moment is. I already know what this person is going to say. I already know the meaning of this life event. It lets go of that. And it says, I would be curious. I remain in a state of humility. Humility is one where the Spirit says, I don't know, but I'm open to knowing. I would rather perceive the true essence of this moment, of this person, of this place, of this event, as opposed to assuming that I already know. Because the moment that you assume you already know is the moment that you are automatically referencing your memory. The only way that the mind can project upon a moment an assumption of what a moment is going to be is if the ego is referencing its memory, something that took place in the past. The Spirit is present in the here and now. It is not concerned with the past. It is not concerned with the moment. It is only interested in embracing the totality of what is now. When the Spirit embraces the totality of what is here and now, meaning that it does not resist, it does not fight, it does not control. It embraces what is being experienced now. When the Spirit does this, it has then the opportunity to perceive the essence that permeates the event, the physical form. It has the ability to interact with Spirit itself. Because underneath or beyond all physical form is in fact Spirit. That is the essence that permeates all physicality. And the Spirit can only interact with more of itself when it chooses to relate with more of itself, when it chooses to relate to Spirit. When the ego program kicks in and it says, I already know what this moment is to be. I already know the meaning of it by referencing the past. That Spirit cannot then come out to play. It cannot come out to enjoy the essence of Spirit when the ego is hijacking that space within the mind and saying, pay attention to me. I'd rather you focus on what you've experienced in the past so you can try and control this moment now. And when the ego tricks your awareness, your attention in that moment, it takes away the pleasure and the joy the Spirit can have in embracing the present moment. And this is what it means to truly understand or perceive the reality that your Creator would have you experience as its gift to you. But you do not get to receive this gift when you are putting in front of it your perspective, your perception of what the past already was. This today represents our teaching on the importance of letting go of your preconceived notions, letting go of your misinterpretations, letting go of what the memory of the past would have you believe this present moment means. Letting go of this and instead choose to become curious, choose to become humble, choose to surrender your memory of the past and choose to allow yourself to embrace the beauty, the unlimited potential of the present moment by being curious, by being open, by choosing to embrace, by choosing to allow the moment to be what it is so that you can discover all that this moment truly has for you to become aware of. You don't know what it has fully for you as a gift. You can't know if you're always deciding, always remembering, always projecting. In this lesson, we would wish for you to allow yourself to reinterpret reality by letting go of your interpretation and choosing instead to be open, choosing instead to see the essence of what lies beyond your projection by being curious, by being humble, by surrendering your assumption and choosing to be surprised, choosing to be open, choosing to truly learn what you can learn when you let go of what you already think you know. Today, this is our teaching for you on the understanding of interpretation, the pitfalls and drawbacks of misinterpretation by valuing the lens of the ego, and what you can discover when you let go and you let God, when you let go and you allow your spirit to step in, when you let go and you allow the true essence of you to perceive the reality of now. Thank you for this opportunity to share with you the wisdom of Atrioun, and we look forward to the next moment that we have to bring you a new transmission from the 8th dimension. Thank you and be well. Thank you for joining us today on another transmission with Atrioun, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.